Hello everyone, welcome to episode 67 of How to Play Like a WoW Pro. Today I'm going to be looking at a replay I had in the T100 on Westfield. There's a pretty epic carry, as you'll see, hopefully. So first off, let's talk a little bit about the equipment that I like to bring on the T100. I like it to bring as my primary loadout CVS. You need to have one loadout with Commander's Vision System, in my opinion, at least one loadout with it. Low noise, and then optics, optics is pretty standard. I like the low noise because of the extra camo. I think it's better than vents for spotting maps. And then I bring a camo directive. You can use a low noise directive as well. I'm not actually sure which is better, but that doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's like a difference of at most 1% camo. For my secondary loadout, I like to bring a damage dealing loadout. There are several loadouts you could choose. What I personally would pick for my second loadout would be probably optics, vents, and then rammer, just for maps like Ensk and Himmelsdorf, or any other city maps where there aren't a lot of bushes, or even open maps where there just aren't a lot of bushes, where you don't really need the Commander's Vision System. It's just better to have rammer and vents, in my opinion, for those kind of situations. But alternatively, you could run a loadout with turbo, so maybe optics, turbo, rammer. I think that would also be good. I personally don't run it, but I think the T100 with like bounty or bond turbo is very fun to play. So what do I like to do in light tanks on this map from the south? Well, you have a lot of different options, to be honest. You can go take the corner, you can just play passive here and spot the cross. You can also play in this area and try to outlight people who are playing here, but that's extremely risky in my opinion. There's also some bushes in this area, like somewhere around over here. I'm not sure exactly where you can spot this cross here. But again, it's a little bit risky, especially when the enemy has two light tanks. If they had like one light tank, you know, it was like a Sheridan, then you could possibly do it, but that isn't really what I like to do on this map. I think that taking K0 is just too risky. Sure, there's some hills back here that on the very bottom of the map on the red line that you can play, especially in a low profile T100, you could get away with it. But I just don't like committing to a situation that I might not be able to get out of right away in the battle. So what I like to do instead in light tanks usually is play more of a hybrid role where I'm dealing damage and spotting for my team, and I'll do that by coming to this location over here, this location right here. And what you can do from here is spot people who are playing at this building sniping, as is almost always the case. There's almost always like two people at this building. You can spot them, you can shoot them yourself and then back into cover, and then your teammates from over here and over here can snipe them as well if they overpeak. And then in addition, this position will allow you to shoot the cross if you have a light tank spotting it. So this is kind of what I was saying, where you can play in some area like maybe here. This would be kind of aggressive, but also like somewhere down here to spot this cross. But I just don't think you get that much out of that, because none of these guys here have great shots on this, or if they have shots at all, because this ridge is in the way. So the only thing that really has shots on this is if your if you have some teammates like some tank destroyers playing here, but usually the tank destroyers are too slow to get there anyways. It would have to be something like a grill for them to get early shots on that cross. So this is the position that I wanted to show you in this replay. It's this bush right here. From this bush, you can spot out all of this area, and there's sometimes tank destroyers back here or over here, and then you can just over peek backwards and spot this and get a free shot in. So that's what I'm doing here. But unfortunately I don't spot anybody. Now I notice the STB is crossing through the open, and I don't shoot right away because I'm worried that I might be spotted, but as you can see, I'm like 270 meters away from him, or at least I was. And with low noise, you can get up to around 260 meters away from enemy tier 10s before they'll spot you, usually. So he didn't actually spot me on the first time around, even though I was completely in the open. So it's kind of unfortunate that their Sturv or something isn't playing in this area. And I go for a very aggressive run here to try to proxy him, thinking that he might be sitting in this bush. I was just gonna proxy him and then run away and get into cover. But I see that he's not there. So that opens up an opportunity for me. Now I can play these bushes over here without fear of getting lit from this position. And I can spot anybody who's poking up here, as well as get side shots on these guys if they decide to poke. And I outspot their 13105 there, which is really good because all of my teammates will have shots on him. I'm trying to get safe from this position over here, so if you notice I'm out of render now, so that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to create distance to get out of render, as well as to get in cover from this position in case they happen to have someone there. But if you look at what's actually spotted, the only thing that is unspotted is the TVP and the Sturv. So I'm thinking right now that the Sturv is probably back here since he wasn't playing here, and that their TVP might be here. That's my assumption. That's like my best guess at where they are. But I see that I'm not getting any shots on these people in the south, and I don't really want to poke that 13105 again. I just think it's too risky. So I start heading this direction, but their 13105, I don't really know what he's doing, but he kind of drives through the open field. And then I hit this 6-shot on this guy, and thankfully I don't low roll, so I take him out. Now I see that this STB is pressuring the S-Conk, and I want to help my team because I can't really do anything in the south right now. I could technically go for Artie because there's nothing really covering them except max like 1 TVP, but I'm playing for combined damage. I'm not playing for kills or for hunting down Artie or whatever. So I decided to stay here instead because I think there's less risk. And their VZ over peaks. I don't get spotted somehow. I'm trying to perma-track him here. You can see I load AP. The AP has much better penetration than the APCR. I know that people love firing APCR in the T100 because the AP isn't that much better. But I kind of feel like that's a mistake. I feel like the extra penetration is actually, it kind of makes a big deal. And it's, especially in combination with the fact that AP shells have greater normalization than APCR, which effectively means that it has this penetration difference is bigger than it looks like because the shells are better at penetrating than APCR is. So you definitely should carry quite a few APCR, but I like to carry a lot of AP as well, just for situations where I'm fighting against something like an E100 and I can barely pen him in the side. And right now I'm just covering this S-Conk because there isn't really much else that I can do in this situation. At least nothing obvious. And I'm still not getting spotted, which is pretty crazy. I'm not really sure how that missed, but as you can see, we're actually up 3,000 hit points. So I'm thinking that we're winning this game, but as you'll see soon, that's not actually the case. Now I see this TVP, but I don't want him to put 3 shells into me, so I try to get into cover immediately after shooting him. And here, if you pay attention, I didn't poke out sideways on him. I instead poked like this because I exposed less of my tank. I would only be exposing like maybe this, which he definitely could hit if he's a decent player, but the fact that he hasn't been spotted the entire game tells me he's probably not very good, especially since he just pushed across like this. I can just tell he's not very good. It might not have been the right play to poke at all though here. Maybe I should have just stayed behind the building. Probably I should have, but as you can see, I feel like we were winning, so that's why I'm playing so aggressive and willing to trade my HP, because I'm still full health. This chieftain keeps poking on me, which isn't good, so I'm eventually going to have to move if he keeps doing that. But I kind of want to bait him into peeking and then kill him. That was kind of my plan. I know I can trade a little bit more of my HP away before I have to worry about the chieftain, but I can't stay here forever. So we kill the TVP. Now you can see we're up 5,000 hit points. At least that's what the bar shows, but as you'll see, that's not actually accurate because these guys are all out of render, so the HP hasn't updated. But these guys are distracted by the IS-7, so I take the opportunity to push in and kill the chieftain. I still have some HP, so I'm not too worried really. Right there, I aim for his upper plate and it goes low and hits his lower plate, so I bounce because from this angle, at least the angle that I was at up here, the upper plate is much weaker than the lower plate. And I think he has a single shotgun, but I could be wrong. I don't want him to shoot me again now that I realize he has a single shot, so I try to get the hell out of there. Because I don't want to die, obviously. The Sturf hits me, which again, I'm not too worried. As long as I survive on a one-shot, I feel like I can outplay the rest of these guys pretty easily. So I don't bother conserving my HP. But now this Sturf is basically just a free kill for me. At least that's what I thought. But he's actually very fast. I think this guy definitely has a bomb turbo. Because he is, like, extremely quick. I can barely keep up. And so I could have actually died here if he played super well and hit me out of siege mode somehow. Here I load AP because I feel like it would be better to pen him in the front, but I'm not actually sure if that's the case. I don't think it is actually. I probably should have just kept APCR loaded and I would have been able to kill him. But anyways, he dies, so that threat is gone with. And now I suddenly realize that the game is actually close. And so I'm thinking about what to do in this situation, and let's first talk about what I shouldn't do. Obviously, I shouldn't push into the T22 because I'm a one-shot. And I don't think it's worth it to go back to defend the arty, because if this guy goes for the arty, I can always just, if I am over here or something, I can always just drive over and start shooting him. I don't have to be here as he's pushing in, I can just come later. So I decided to go here and cover the Caro and hopefully extend some vision and maybe get some spots off. Because the Caro is in a terrible position right now, so I knew he was probably going to die most likely. Or at least they were going to pressure him, so I decided to cover him. We killed their light tank, which is huge. In late game situations like this, light tanks are very powerful. But what I'm trying to do here is get a free shot and then leave, but I'm worried about getting spotted after I shoot. So I'm waiting until there's a couple trees and bushes in between me and him. There needs to be at least two for me to feel confident that I won't get spotted. And I managed to get two trees in front of me and him, like this one and this one, or maybe it's this one and some of these trees, I don't know, but I get a free shot in. Now I do have Commander's Vision System. I'm running low noise, optics, and Commander's Vision System. So this is where the Commander's Vision System really comes in handy, because I know for a fact that I'll spot him at about 180 meters away, even through bushes. And he won't be able to spot me from that range. If I didn't have Commander's Vision System, there's a good chance that we would just proxy spot each other, basically. Now in this situation, I didn't see this coming at all. The 121B actually pushed down and didn't get spotted. And he's just pushing in, which I thought he would play passive because they were it's a close game, but no, he just decided to push in. And somehow, I don't get spotted until I fire. So that was really lucky. I probably should have died there. But I get away with a free shot. And now what I'm thinking is, this E100 is probably spotted now. So they're going to go for the E100. So I need to pretend like I'm running away so that the 121B stops chasing me. But then I can't afford to just wait. I have to help him. Because if I wait, then they're just going to 2v1 this E100. And if this E100 isn't very good, there's a good chance they'll kill him for basically free. And then I'll be up against a basically full HP 121B and a T22 medium tank, which wouldn't be good. So I need to make sure that I get my gun in the fight as best I can without dying for it. So I go for a quick shot there, and then I immediately get in cover because it makes sense for this 1-1B to focus me because I'm a one-shot, so I know that I can't just drive in and expect them not to pay attention to me. They're going to focus their attention on me if I drive in. So now I can't commit anymore. I don't have enough gun depression to play against them, and I have to get my distance from them because they killed the E100, and so they're going to come after me next. So my only goal right now is just to get as far away as possible from them. Now what I want to do in this situation is run to here. And the reason why I want to run to here is it's a very good defensive location where I can spot from. I can play these ridges up here, and I should be able to spot them driving in. And then if they go for our arty, then I can always just drive back. I'm fast enough to do that. Alternatively, I could have gone all the way around the north, but I just don't think that's as good because I want to take advantage of the fact that there's a good chance they'll be spotted as they're killing our arties. And I want to take advantage of the fact that if I play up here, I can shoot them driving in, most likely. I can always escape north later, or at least there's a good chance I'll be able to. If they play it correctly, I actually couldn't escape in this situation. They could just have the T22, like, they could just drive in like this, like one this way, and then I couldn't really escape. I would have to fight my way out. But that's not what they do. Here I am playing the ridges, looking for free shots. Unfortunately, I missed that shot. Didn't fire quite quick enough, and my shell goes low. I only have 4 AP shells left, which is kind of not great because the T22 medium is kind of hard to pen with APCR. I want to help our arty player in this situation, but I can't find the angle, especially with the T100's poor gun depression. And it's at this point that I realize that I have to get out of here because I'm a one-shot and he's a two-shot. I'm not going to rely on myself to try to outplay him in these dune areas. I probably could do it, but it would be pretty difficult because his armor is too good and he has extra HP compared to me. And then the other thing is I would be on a timer because the T22 could drive in as well, and then I would have to beat 2 of them in close quarters combat. So I decided to run instead. This is where the low noise definitely could come in handy because if their T22 is like somewhere in this area, he won't spot me. He can only spot me if he's closer than like 250 meters. So I'm trying to get out as quick as possible to avoid the T22 spot, and my plan now is just to go K-line. And I'm gonna try to get there all the way around to here before they kill my arty so that I might possibly get some damage in as they kill our arty. But unfortunately our arty dies, and the 1-1B doesn't even get spotted, but he pings here, so I know that he's probably there. Now here I spot the T22, and I notice that he's 370 meters away. So what that means is there's no way he's going to spot me, but if I fire, there's a good chance that he will actually spot me. So what I decided to do, since he's still in the open and I'm perma-spotting him, I'm just going to wait until I get to somewhere where I'm kind of safe, which is here. And then there's also going to be bushes in between me and him so that he doesn't spot me. So I get a free shot in. And now I see their 1-2-1B is capping. And this is actually a very good situation for me. Even though I'm down HP and it's a 2 versus 1, if I play this correctly, there's a very low chance that they should be able to win this game. Because when you have, in an endgame situation, when you have this corner of the map with a light tank, and you're like even in like a 1 versus 4 situation or something, unless they have enough HP just to drive at you from all angles, they aren't really able to trap you, and you can farm them on the way in. You can reset your cap from either side. You can reset the cap for free using bushes. And so this should be an easy situation to win if I play properly. And here, instead of going for the T22, I don't know exactly where he is now, and there's a bunch of foliage, so I can't spot him. I just decided to go for the better play, in my opinion, which is to try to outspot this 121B from distance and get a bush between me and him and just shoot him for free. The only possible bad thing that could happen in this situation, in my opinion, is if the T22 like turns and just drives here, or turns and drives like this or something, and comes behind me as I'm killing the 121B. That would not be good. But the T22 knows I'm here, so I'm assuming that he's driving something like this, and he's a one-shot, so he should be scared. I'm trying to spot this 121B, but I don't see him at first, and so I zoom out. I'm wondering if there are any bushes on the cap that he could be hiding behind, but it doesn't look like there are any, so I'm wondering where he's playing. So I decided to get a little bit closer. Maybe he just is stationary with a camo net, or he has really good camo while stationary, and he actually was just sitting in the open. So this is a spot that you can use to reset from. I don't know why he's looking that direction, but I guess it's because I never got spotted going all the way around, so he probably didn't know I was down here. He probably thought I was still up here, and the T22 must not have pinged it. So I just relight him, go for the guaranteed shot, and I kill him. Now it's just a 1 versus 1. We're both one-shots. I'm expecting the T22 to be somewhere in this area or to be over here. So my plan right now was to like slowly move my way up bush to bush and then try to eventually get to here where I can extend some vision. And then if I didn't spot him there, I probably would spot check with an APCR shell to see if he's in the corner and then back off. And if I get lit, I know he's back here. If I don't get lit, then I probably would either go to the corner, or since there's only 3.5 minutes, I would just go back and go play the middle and try to use bushes to outspot him with CVS. But the worst possible thing happens. He comes over here, and I didn't use this bush to mask my approach, so he actually spots me. Kind of lagged, so you couldn't see my shot. I don't actually know whether that was aimed well or not. But I missed, so he has to reload on me right now. And what I didn't notice at the time is I actually ran out of APCR shells. That was my last one, and I wasn't careful to use it correctly. But I'm kind of in the open now, and there's nowhere to run. I have to try to dodge. And thankfully he hits my track, and then I hit this shot on him. It's kind of lagging, so you can't see exactly where I shot him, but I don't know. I think I aimed that perfectly. But I think it was lucky because penning the front of a T22 with APCR in a T100 is not easy. But luckily, RNG was in my favor. So yeah, I felt like I played this pretty well overall, and it was a pretty good carry. Let me show you the post-game stats. As you can see, I got a mastery badge, 1400 spotting, which is pretty low for this map, 6800 damage. This spotting is low because nobody was playing at this building thing in the beginning, so I had nothing to spot really for my teammates. 4 kills, 1400 base XP, and I went even on profit. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure whether you can expect more videos soon in the future. Sometimes I'm lazy about uploading them. Like a lot of the time I have like 10 videos in the queue and I'm just too lazy to upload them, even though I'm not too lazy to record them because I enjoy recording them, but uploading them is a pain. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.